He's gonna make $168 million a year.
Right at the intro. Welcome back, everybody, to the Stone and Crane Show. We are just gonna hop right into it. I know it's been 2-3 weeks, something like crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But let me show. I'm gonna pop up my screen here somewhere. I'm gonna accidentally put on the outro music, but then stop it, so we're good. Here we are. We're gonna be talking about all things sports today. It might even carry on to a 2-part episode, but we'll see. We'll see how long we rabble on. Hopefully not too long. It's already 6:00.
Yeah.
Right here it says 3.2 billion for Messi.
Yeah. Euros.
No, 2.7 billion in euros.
Oh, is it? Oh, isn't okay? That's
which
euros.
Goes up to
up
3.2 billion in dollars.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So you want to talk about Stephen Curry's not even quarter of a billion?
Yeah.
Not even quarter of a billion. You talk about how overpaid you think he is. You got Messi over here with
football players make
with like
so much money, man.
10 times that much.
Yeah. But dude, he's like the greatest soccer player ever, man. And
he is, and we were just talking about how football is number one watched soccer. Football for the world, soccer for America, whatever. We're all Americans that are watching this, so soccer for us is the biggest sport in the world. So, according to this, estimated half the people on the planet Earth watch it. So,
yeah, we're literally like the only country that I mean, what does the MLS get ratings in this country? I didn't look it up, but I know it gets decent ratings here because we do have fans and it does do decent viewership here. I know when we lived in Salt Lake, man, that Real Salt Lake that stadium would get packed. When we drive by it, you'd have to avoid that stadium like the plague. Well, I can't really use that saying anymore. You'd have to avoid that stadium like it was a bad neighborhood, maybe, or something. I don't know. I had to find a new saying. You have to avoid that stadium, period, because that whole area would be packed because the stadium's packed. So, like, MLS gets fans, man, and because I don't even know how to find something like that, but compared to here,
I was trying to look for, but yeah,
it's definitely the fifth probably most watched sport behind hockey. I would take it. It's probably got to be battling hockey. I would understand because we still don't appreciate.
Yeah,
hockey.
It's fourth. It's in front of hockey. I remember seeing earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would assume that it's above hockey just because of we don't appreciate hockey enough in this country.
Was hockey most popular in Canada, or where's hockey most popular at? Okay, that's Canada. What I thought so.
Yeah, Canada and probably Russia.
Yeah,
Eastern Europe, probably.
Okay, so the top of the list. So this says hockey at number 4, but then when you scroll down to this part, it says hockey number 5. So I don't know. It's 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But I think we could all agree that football is number 1 for sure. American football is number 1 for sure in America. It's America's pastime. I don't care how much baseball thinks it's still legit. It's not.
No.
Basketball. I know baseball fans would hate to hear that if you start telling them that basketball is more popular than baseball. Because I feel like hardcore baseball fans get mad when people say football is bigger than baseball. If you start telling them basketball is bigger than baseball, man, they're gonna riot.
Look, I like baseball better than both those sports.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the game is harder to watch than both those sports. Look, I hate watching basketball nowadays. I still think the sport is more fun to watch than baseball, depending on which era you watch it in.
Sure.
Like the game that's played now, I don't enjoy as much, but I still don't watch baseball now because the game is just. I don't want to watch a guy.
I watched John Boy Media. Does that count?
Oh, dude, John Boy Media is the best. Did you watch his cat video?
No, does he have a cat video that just
Dude,
came
watch
out?
his cat video. It just came out today. It's amazing.
Oh no, I haven't seen
The
it.
cat that was in the Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
running
this.
around.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fantastic.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen his take on it. I did see a different thing of a slow mo. Didn't someone try kicking the cat?
Oh,
I
yeah,
swear,
they didn't try to kick it, but they just tried to put their foot out.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
stop it.
Well, in slow mo, it looked like a kick, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I know.
that's a shout out to John Boy Media. Anybody get any time to watch John Boy Media? That's one of the best. He's the best breakdown of baseball stuff ever.
He breaks down
he's
everything,
amazing.
man. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, dude.
Breaks down disc golf. That's gonna be number one day.
Does he? Oh, yeah, well, he did that one. Yeah, he did the championship.
Yeah.
But anyway, going off topic there. But yeah, baseball is amazing, man. But it's just so hard, dude. It's just, and I've argued with this with my brother a lot. The game is just really slow paced, and for fans nowadays, the younger generation would rather watch basketball, right? Like your generation, basketball is a bigger sport to them because it's fast paced. There's a lot of dunking and scoring, and
in my friend group,
you know,
yeah. I don't, I can't say for sure. But
we just watch. You can just click on the internet, and you can just tell that the younger generation is more obsessed with basketball compared to the older generation, which is like my brothers and mine, which enjoys basketball, but we still grew up with like Jordan, right, and older.
Sure.
But baseball was still more viewed then than it is now. I feel like baseball is still dying compared to what it was. It still gets watched and people still go to games, but
it's
definitely not as
dying. I would
big
say.
as basketball.
You say dying, it sounds
will,
like it's about to collapse.
No, it's definitely not that bad. But when you got empty stadiums,
not growing at the
league
rate as
COVID,
these other sports are growing at.
No, basketball is huge, man, and it'll continue to grow and it'll continue to get bigger, and because especially if you look at the way what basketball is doing now internationally over the last few years with superstars, there's like more international superstars in the league than ever before. So it's insane how many people are in the league that are from other countries, right?
Just this, I mean, this. Well, Hakeem, Hakeem was international, obviously. So when he did it, I guess when he won the MVP and Finals MVP the same year. But this year was the first year, two different. We had Jokic, who is Soviet, win MVP in the regular season, and then you had Giannis winning Finals MVP from Greece. So
yeah, he's Doncic.
Luka Doncic. Yeah, he's probably the youngest, biggest growing star. Yeah. He's a great player.
He's a beast, dude. Slovenian, right? Slovenian.
Yeah, he is so. Gosh, he's like 21 or so, 22 maybe. But he plays 22. Like he's been playing the game like Chris Paul. Like he knows the game so well. It is crazy. So
yeah, he's a beast, dude. He's so good, man. Did you hear what he said about the Olympics?
Yeah, he's talking about. He said if he won gold, it'd be a bigger accomplishment than him winning the championship.
Well, yeah, that too. But he was talking about how it's harder to play European leagues and play in the Olympics than it is to play in America and the NBA.
Yeah.
Because he said that there's more defense and it's harder. Like they actually play defense in the Olympics in Europe and stuff like that versus the NBA when there's like no defense being played.
Yeah, well,
the thing with that is with
the Olympics and stuff, it's every game's basically a win or go home game, right? You lose a game and you might play out your pool yet, but you're basically out of it, right? Where in 82 games in a regular season, and all you have to really do is make the playoffs. Once you get in the playoffs, the defense it's double as better. I'm not saying it's still as tough as what they're doing now in the Olympics, but yeah, NBA's current defense gets a bad rap because of the fact that it's just not worth it.
He didn't talk about just that. He just talked about European play just in general and just regular season NBA. He talked about just European play, period. He said that's why he feels like Europeans are just better defenders in general because of just the way they play.
I believe it.
Just to the rule base. That's why he feels like he's such a good scorer because he feels like the NBA is easier to score in while the regular season is going on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why, because they asked him about scoring and stuff like that, and that's why he feels like he can score in the NBA, because he said he played in Europe, so it's just the adjustment levels is different. So, I feel like that's why you're going to get more and more of those guys coming over. Oh God, I can't remember his name now, but he does really great breakdowns of the NBA. I think it's like Jimmy High Roller or something like that as YouTube. I can't, man, it sucks. But he does really good breakdowns, and he did a good video on like Europeans and international people coming to the NBA and how many there have been over the last like 5 years, and how many like superstars there are.
A lot.
Yeah, he's like it's insane compared to 10 years ago and compared to 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
There was like 20 years ago that were like considered like a top 10 player, and now there's like 6 of them that are considered a top 20 player compared to 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So
just between
that's
Giannis,
even better for the NBA.
Giannis, Jokic, and Doncic, I mean, all of those could be first team NBA players, and I'm not 100% sure who was. I don't know if Doncic was, but Jokic and Giannis were both in the first team.
Yeah. Well, you got, there's a ton of right, and you know me. I mean, for people that don't know, I don't watch a whole lot of basketball. I do pay attention a little bit here and there, but I mean, I feel like that's really good for me, for someone like me who doesn't watch a lot of NBA.
Yeah.
Doncic
did make first team. So three out of the 5 top.
3 out of the 5.
Basically top players in the league.
Oh, the Nikola.
Yep.
Where's he from, Jokic?
Joker.
Serbian.
Yeah.
Serbian. Yeah. See, man, like that's what I mean. Like, you look at these guys, man, and where they're coming from is just.
Rudy Gobert's
to me,
French.
It makes me excited. Where I potentially could be like, oh look, man,
I could be wrong. Oh, actually, Embiid is from Africa, and Rudy Gobert is French.
Yep, there you go.
Kyrie's from Britain.
Yes,
that's off the top of my head. I don't even know if some of these other guys, Chris Paul, Damian, Julius Randle, I don't know where he's from.
Yeah.
I know Kawhi and Stephen Curry are both from America, I'm pretty sure. Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Bradley Beal are all Americans. I'll play for Team America anyways. Team USA. It's crazy that...
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the league, dude. I think it's good for people to have some the international stuff coming into the league, man. I don't think it'll get me to like completely watch it on a regular basis, but it'll make me more intrigued. You have more stars from other nations come into the game and do well. So I think I watched more highlights this year because of Luka than I've ever watched before. Dude
is great. He's
and then I paid attention this year because of Giannis. Even though I'm a Bulls fan, I live in Wisconsin, so I paid attention to see. I was rooting for the Bucks. I wanted them to win. Any teams coming out of the state wins good for the state. So having that guy, man, and then like we talked through Messenger, and was pumped, man, for him to show loyalty to the team and to the organization and to the fans and stuff, man. I thought that was big.
Yep.
You got players out there like Westbrook who changes teams every year.
Yep. He's
got to chase that title, dude. Chase that title.
He's chasing something, man.
What do you feel about that?
We can get into all the trades and stuff if you want. I just wanted to note something quick that I thought was funny when it first came out. The fact that Giannis got all 100 first team votes to be on Team 1, but Nick only got 99, and yet he won the MVP over Giannis.
Oh, really? Yeah.
In fact, I don't even know if Giannis
was... better stats, though?
Giannis was in the top 3. What their stats were, comparatively?
Yeah, didn't Luka have better stats?
Or no, not... I was talking about
Jokic.
Jokic is the one that won MVP this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't pay too much attention to any of that. I've seen a little bit of arguing on ESPN, but I don't watch much ESPN, so.
I don't want those. I want averages.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for, right?
That's career averages. We got.
Oh yeah, you want. Yeah, you gotta look for 2021. It's gonna be. We didn't pre-out this conversation.
We don't.
This is all
any of the conversations we do.
No, that's true. We don't.
We just head bull rush right into it. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Giannis didn't even make final three. That was between Jokic, Embiid, and Curry, and yet Giannis had 100 votes to be on first All NBA team. Only because he's won the last two, so he can't win a third in a row, right?
Yeah. Oh, he can't.
No, not possible. You can't do that in NBA, not these days. So, comparatively between these two, anyways, Giannis more points, more rebounds, less assists, steals same. Giannis had more blocks. Giannis shot better from the floor, but Jokic shot better from three. He did have more win shares. I don't remember. Denver finished with a 47-25 record and 47 wins, and Bucks had 46 wins, basically the same amount of wins. Giannis did play 11 less games. Also played a minute and a half less a game.
Huh. They got to give it to somebody else, right?
Got to give it to somebody else. I'm not saying it's a decisive win. I don't think it should have been this. I mean, he won. It wasn't even close. 91 votes to, or whatever this is. However the voting works. It was a runaway. It wasn't even close voting wise. But anyways, Matt Curry is just nobody on that team, and yet he still shot 42% from deep. That dude's gone down as the best shooter ever. I don't care what you say.
Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say he has, people used to say, well, he only shoots that good because he's got Clay next to him. He hasn't had Clay. He didn't have Clay next to him at all this year. And still shot 42% from deep. So, averaged 32 points a game on 48% shooting, 91% from the free throw. Anyways, what are we talking about? We talking about who won MVP, and then we kind of.
That's fine. We were gonna switch over to some of the trade stuff.
So I guess we're talking about NBA. Might as well keep on it, right?
Yeah, let's keep on it. I was gonna ask you how you felt about the Westbrook.
Yeah, I was about to say you were just talking about the Westbrook trade. Let me see if I could pull it up.
I don't follow a whole lot of basketball stuff, so I don't really care about much of this stuff. I just think it's funny that guy tossed around like a bad.
His biggest problem is his shooting, I would say.
Yeah.
For Westbrook to be a good player.
Well, he doesn't pass the ball either. We learned all this a few years ago when he played with all those guys, dude. He's not a good teammate. So I don't know what going to other guys who aren't good teammates is going to do. I don't understand that. So
I want to say he's a bad teammate.
Yeah, he's not a bad teammate. He's not. But
I mean, he's Mr. Triple Double, so I mean, he's gonna get those passes in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's led the league in assists for the past few years. I don't want Wikipedia. Wikipedia sucks.
That's because he can't shoot.
This is true. This is what I've been saying. He hasn't been able to shoot since his MVP season. That was the only year he shot good. 2016, 2017. Averaged
He
31
dunk and he
points.
steals rebounds from the big guys, and he passes to people that are open, which is good for LeBron, right? I mean, AD's stats are going to go down from rebounding because Westbrook's going to take all of his rebounds. So, because that's how he gets all of his fucking triple doubles, is he gets rebounds up the wall.
I expect to see more of a Houston. You know how he was in Houston, which he wasn't averaging a triple double there, but
No.
shooting percentages just aren't great. I mean,
Yeah,
you could say Giannis shoots the three ball better than him because.
I like Westbrook's intensity, man. I think the guy's
he's a hustler.
Fucking got the, he's got the drive, man, and he's a fucking monster out there. Dude, fucking these people, man. And this is what I'm not a fan about the NBA is this stuff, man. These people just building teams like this instead of building teams, it's around players. It's all going to teams and making it out of like the best players, and it's just frustrating to watch because like Camelo's there now too. You know, he's at the end of his career. Yeah. He's gonna come off the bench, right, and he's gonna provide whatever he can.
Melo isn't gonna be much of a factor.
But you know, I mean, because like it is what it is. But that's why I was happy to see the Bucks win it, right? I mean, the Bucks didn't fucking. What did they do? You know what I mean? They got Giannis, but they didn't.
They built around Giannis.
Go out and right? They didn't go out and try to fucking get.
They didn't get anyone in free agency, right? Anyways. You know, they got Drew Holiday in a big trade, and that was the only thing that we did really.
But he's not one of those guys. You know what I mean? He's not like going out and getting fucking Kyrie Irving or fucking Kevin Durant. You know what I mean?
Because Holiday only has one All-Star under his belt, which I mean he's underrated anyways. He should have more than that, but
yeah, he's good, but he's not. Yeah, he's definitely not like one of those top tier players. Like he's good, but he's not.
He's an All-Star level player. He just hasn't been making the All-Star team, basically.
Yeah, right. Because like I said, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of the game to give a full breakdown comments on. I just read stats, and then I watch other people's breakdowns. So I just know what other people say that watch the sport more than I do. So, but yeah, that's where the issue is. I mean, I know the Bulls have made some moves, right? So, which is good for them because they need help with that Levine dude. They've tried for years, right, to help him. So, because they signed Ball, and then they went out and got that DeRozan.
DeRozan, man, I love DeRozan. He's so underrated too.
Yeah, they got him, and they went out and got that big dude too to play center. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, they got him last year. Niko Visocic.
Yeah, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, so I mean that's for a team. Just wish they would have. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. There you go.
Yeah, and Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, Vucevic. What? I don't know how you say that name.
I don't know.
Vucevic. Yeah, whatever that dude's is. Sorry for your name, bro. I can't pronounce it.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, like the teams like that, like a team that hasn't done anything in a while, they're trying to make moves to help because that Levine kid is good, man.
He is.
So like, but he's needed help for years, right?
He is basically Devin Booker 2.0, I mean, he was basically drafted at the same time Devin Booker was.
Yeah.
He's been just chilling. So he was traded from Minnesota. I think he spent a year in Minnesota before he traded when Butler wanted out of the Bulls.
Yeah.
But he wasn't considered much then. Okay, he was in Minnesota for 3 years actually. He had a decent year his third year before getting traded. A couple injury years. He didn't play much. But these last 3 years, been putting on a show. Especially this last year. he averaged 27 points on over 50% shooting, and 42% from three. He's been shooting the ball lights out. So it's all-star this year, well deserved. Kind of another Bradley Beal, honestly, but better. I mean, I'm sure people would disagree there because Bradley Beal's been around a little longer. But even Beal isn't that efficient, or hasn't had that efficient of a year yet.
Yeah.
Man, Washington could have been something if Wall didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The injuries killed his career these last 4 years. He's played 110 games over the last 4 years.
Ouch.
Season and a half over 4 years. That's
Where'd he go to college at?
John Wall, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. That's right.
I believe he was on that team, that stacked team. I want to say.
I think so. Yeah, because I remember watching him.
Was that with?
Play. Because I don't.
Was that with Cat and your Bam went?
I don't know.
Devin Booker got drafted. That. What is this? Players who played for Kentucky. I don't want that. I want.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember that far back. It was a long time ago.
Oh no. No, he did not play for that team. That was that 2015 Kentucky was crazy. That's the team that almost went undefeated and Wisconsin beat them. Beat Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Devin Booker, Trey Lyles. I mean, they had 4 guys go in the top 13.
John Wall played with DeMarcus Cousins on Kentucky.
Oh, that's who it was. Yeah. Fucking Frank the Tank, baby, said, Yeah,
but are you okay? So you're a basketball fan though, like right now. So like, you grew up in this generation of like all these, for the most part, of like, we always kind of had big players and stuff like that from my generations, but like, really there wasn't. It really started with that Boston Celtics team. Whoa.
You can't call me while I'm on my podcast, Dad.
With that KG team, man, it was like really one of the first ones to get all of it with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, to really put a team together to like beat that Lakers team. They were like, we have to put a big three together to get out there.
Yeah.
So like, ever since then, there's been nothing but teams to put, quote, that big three together, right? Yeah.
People moving around.
And ever since then, it's been, who do we got to get here? You know what I mean? You got to go get somebody. We got to get another big name to come here to play. And I mean, and it did happen before. It's not like it's never happened, right? It happened back in the day, because the Rockets did it, right? The Rockets went and got a bunch of people back in the day, fucking big names, to come play to win a championship, and fucking. So it's not like it's not. Some of the old hats, they fucking want it. No, this fucking shit didn't happen. It's fucking always happened. It's just now it happens more often.
Yeah.
So
Kareem going to the Lakers.
Barkley, like all those guys. I can't remember that team, that Houston team. They had a fucking bunch of bunch of classic players, but they're all kind of past their prime at that point, So
yeah, ring chase.
I think it was like that 95 team, 96 team. I think it was when they fucking went there. But it was just one of those things, man. So what I'm getting at is like, you're okay with it, right? Like you're fine with.
Yeah, I mean,
Westbrook going there,
it is what it
Melo
is.
going there. Right.
Thing that sucks, I'm okay with it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't suck. Because being a fan of Milwaukee, it's not exactly the place that yells, "Come live here," you know.
Yeah. Hey,
So
it's cold as shit in the wintertime, guys.
you guys like snowboarding? That's about it.
We got surfing season in the winter in Sheboygan. It's just north of here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's just one of those things. Because like I've just some of the stuff that I've watched a couple of those YouTube channels of people breaking it down, and it's people talking about it. It just seems like it's just kind of frustrating because of that. Because some of the other markets of the teams, it's hard because for like someone like me who just I still like the game. I would love to get back into it, but it's just so frustrating to turn it on, and it's like fucking you look at that Lakers team now, it's like Jesus fucking Christ, how could they not win it? You know what I mean? It's like you have everybody on that team. AD and LeBron together to me just spews championship. It's like both those guys should be averaging 30 plus points a game together with get a couple of the key players, and that team should just be dominant as it is, especially in today's NBA. So it's just, I wish that there'd be other teams. And with like the Nets, right? I mean, they were a fucking inch away from KD hitting that shot against Milwaukee. So
for sure.
I mean, so we were super close to the Bucks not even making the championship. So it's like, how are you?
Yeah, and then you got Giannis going down in the next series.
Right. So, like with that, I'm talking about like with that super teams, like that Nets team. If every one of those guys are healthy, does the Giannis team even make it? Do the Bucks even make it if that team's 100% healthy? Because like,
we don't know. A lot of people say,
right?
I can understand why people immediately say yes because of how close it was. But just because you put in another star player doesn't mean you make that many more shots or you score that many more points. You're taking shots away from other people.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah. I think it's I don't know. You can't
never know.
You can't change what had happened and throw a different hypothetical in there and say, yes, this is what's going to happen, right?
You could say that for every single year.
Crazy
you could say that when Toronto won. Do Toronto win when both Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson go down in that series? You don't know.
Right. Yeah. You can't. Well, there's a bunch of shit, right? Because you can't tell me that when the Warriors went up 3-1 on LeBron that they weren't going to win. That Warriors aren't going to win that. You know what I mean? In that series, right? There's no way. Warriors are winning this. I'd bet my life savings on it. You would have lost, right? So it's just kind of one of those things. You can't go back. You would have told me that Eli Manning, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, would have 2 Super Bowl championships, the same amount as his brother, who's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, you can't give or take or hypotheticals in any sport, man, because on any day of the game that's played, man, it's all crazy shit, dude.
That's what we got video games for. We can go replay those what ifs.
Yeah, and you don't let that fucking tight end try to catch the ball from Jordy Nelson on an onside kick.
Yeah, I saw this meme the other day and I couldn't help but laugh, even though it hurt so hard. It's like Aaron Rodgers bring the team back together so they can go lose another NFC Championship game.
Yes,
I was like, damn it. I look at the last 5 years. He's like, fuck, they're right. Because we have been in it 3 of the last 5 years. We have been, and I think it's 4 of the last 7 years we've been in NFC Championship game and have not won any of them.
Yeah. My buddy Scott,
tough pill swallow,
he sent me a meme, and it was a Pawn Stars, and it was Aaron Rodgers was like taking the place of Rick, and then it was Corey, and it said, Aaron, we're hoping you'd come back to unite the organization to help us win a Super Bowl. And it says the best I can do is shit on the organization and lose the NFC Championship. And I was like, I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. You give us good football to watch, I'll be happy. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand. Over the last, basically 30 years now. You know, you were saying 20 years now. You can basically say 30 years of great quarterbacks for the Packers. People say, how do you only have 2 rings? It's like, well, how many does your team have? is my question. And
Bears fans
it's usually less than 2.
1985.
It's usually less than 2. Unless they're a Patriots fan, it's less than 2.
Most of those people don't even have 1.
I know, right?
Or if they do, it was in. It's not even been in the last 30. It's been since 1963. You know what I mean?
1985. I don't know. A lot of people like that year for some reason. They hang on to it very harshly.
Yeah, they clutch that shit like it's the last dying breath. Dude.
When your best quarterback of your entire franchise has been Jay Cutler, man.
I wouldn't even say that Jay Cutler's been their best quarterback of their entire franchise.
Who's been their best quarterback?
Freaking Rex Grossman, dude.
I don't know about that.
Rex Grossman took him to a Super Bowl, dude.
You did not take him anywhere. Fucking defense took him there.
That's the same shit with that fucking year that with all the other shit, dude. Their defenses held them in it. Dude, Jay Cutler's overrated as shit.
Dude, yeah. It's like,
anyway. I digress.
Who was whoever Baltimore's quarterback used to be? Joe Flacco. People said he was good. Man, that defense carried him to a Super Bowl too.
There's been a lot of good quarterbacks that have won. Or a lot of not good. There's been a lot of decent quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls because of great defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, Trent Dilfer's got some titles.
Football is an
Brad
ultimate.
Johnson's got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football is an ultimate two-sided affair.
Yeah.
You know.
But dude, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time doesn't have one, dude, in Dan Marino.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a Super Bowl, and he's. I mean, I still could to this day, you could argue that he's one of the best to ever play the game in that position.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at his stats and you compare him to now, and they don't look that great. But when you compare him to what he was doing while all the other quarterbacks were playing in the league, it is unbelievable. It's crazy.
But he threw 40-something back then.
Yeah.
He said in an interview the other day, he said something about he'd be throwing like 50-something, 60 nowadays.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's the one thing. Those guys are always gonna say stuff like that. You know, it's like Jordan saying he'd average 50, and nowadays it's like, really? What do you though? You don't know. Yeah, I don't think he. I personally don't think he would. I think he's averaged a ton, 30 plus, but I don't think he averages 50.
I think Jordan averages 76 points a game, dude.
76, not 72.
No, 76.
72. Take it
No, I'm with you, dude. I think they have to, right? Because, well, the thing is like generations are played different, right? The way that the game was played when Dan Marino played was completely different than the way the game is played now. Your routes are ran different. Your receivers are different. The defensive backs are completely different too. Dan Marino was playing against fucking linebackers who were so slow they didn't know what to fucking do with themselves. He wasn't playing against freaking Ray Lewis. He played against some bruisers that were heavy hitters and they hit hard, and he had to deal with the physicality of the game, but he didn't have to deal with the speed that those guys came at. And the cornerbacks and safeties now, man, those guys are so fast across the field. It's played at a whole other level than it was back then. It's different. It's a different game. The defenses are different, and you can say everything you want, right? And it's just a different game. It's hard. I still think he'd put up great numbers now if he was to play. I just don't think it would be what he thinks it might be. And that's just, it's a personal opinion on it. But I still think he'd be elite, elite level. He's putting up 40 bombs easily. There's just no fucking way. Fucking Turd Binsky can be a starting quarterback in the league. Fucking Dan Marino's definitely dropping 40 fucking bombs, dude. But anyway, so we're off of it. Basketball now. I hope that this is another good season for basketball fans out there.
I think with the major rule change they're implementing this next year, I think it's a good step forward.
What were those changes again? I don't have the list up anymore. I didn't have it in a while.
I can pull it up.
Yeah, you want to pull that up? I had it on this tab list here, but I lost all my tabs.
So you can't. I wonder if it got an actual text. And it's also getting flipped. It's going flip. It's not even. It's going to be called still, but it's going to be called an offensive foul instead of a defensive foul. So when a shooter launches or leans into a defender at an abnormal angle, when a shooter kicks his leg up to the side, abnormal, and when a offensive player abruptly veers off his path sideways or backwards into a defender. Which some of these, the leaning into a defender when you get a guy to jump, that's my only concern. Because that used to be like, well, this guy jumped, I'm going to lean into him and shoot the ball. That should be an easy foul. That's always been the case for a long time. To be called. But it's even more, people do even more now, even when they're not, even when you don't get a defender to jump or something.
Yeah.
Trying to look. What are you trying to look at? This is where I read that from.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think those are all good. The thing is, they just got to work on the consistency of it.
Yeah. And I don't expect it to be perfect this next year because obviously referees are going to have to train themselves to make the right call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take some time in adjusting. They need to bring back traveling.
Bring back traveling, yeah.
Yeah, they need to call it traveling again. I would like to see that. I watched a couple playoff games this year, and I've never seen so many traveling in one game.
It's because they've changed the rules on it so much. It's like basically now you can take 3 steps.
7 steps. It's like fucking 7 steps.
Yeah, they get away with it sometimes.
That's another thing. He dribbled, jumped 2 steps, and then shot. I was like, I think that's a travel. If I remember when I played, I'm pretty sure you can't hop, stop, step, and then shoot. Pretty sure it's travel. But it is what it is. It's the NBA.
Yep. Did you want to talk about some of these bigger trades in the NBA?
What's that?
What's up?
Sure, we can bring those up.
Sure.
What are the bigger trades? I didn't see any of those. All I'd seen was just a couple of those big free agency moves.
Yeah, we got Russell Westbrook going to Los Angeles, as he talked about, for Kyle Kuzma, Caldwell Pope, and Montrezl Harrell, and the number 22 draft pick. They also sent 2 second-round picks to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I think this is a great trade for both teams. I don't think Washington needs to bring itself down. It needs to trade Bradley Beal, honestly. It's tough seeing him there. I mean, it's worse than what's going on in Portland with Lillard, because at least Lillard is fighting in the playoffs, and Bradley Beal is taking he's done at the end of every regular season, it seems like.
Yeah.
But Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell, I think both can improve on, and Caldwell Pope is a fantastic wing player. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets either traded again to a contender team, because he's a great wing guard, good defense. He's a tall guy, and he shoots the 3 well. Instead, Westbrook doesn't show his shooting numbers, but Mr. Triple-Double, it'll be interesting to see how the Lakers use him, because basically LeBron James has been their point guard for the past few seasons. So it depends on how they integrate him into the offense. I don't think he'll have much of a problem on the defensive end. He's a hustler at the very least. Oh, this is a very small. Mason Plumlee is not even an all-star type player, but Charlotte has been lacking a decent center for so long, and now they finally got one, along with they got LaMelo Ball out there, Terry Rozier, and Gordon Hayward, along with a couple other guys. I think Hornets could make a push to be an 8 seed edge on the playoffs with just a small trade, getting an actual center. Actually replacing
got some talent.
Yeah. Replacing Cody Zeller, who's been there forever. He's a decent guy, but he's not what they need. Rubio's not much. Swapping picks. They're just like today's picks. I want the biggest. What was this? This runs them all down. So Spencer Dinwiddie is headed to Washington Wizards. He keeps getting injured is my only problem. He's kind of injury prone. That's a good deal, about $20 million a year. Man. Victor Oladipo is re-signing with the Miami Heat. I don't know how Miami has all this money, but they keep buying people. It doesn't say how much Victor's getting paid, but if he's not getting paid minimum, I don't know how they can afford it. Because they already have 2 max contract guys on their team, and then they're getting all these other guys. It's crazy. Kemba Walker got a buyout from Thunder and is going to the Knicks. That's a very interesting trade.
I was seeing that they were talking about that on somebody that didn't think that was going to help the Knicks at all, though.
Kemba's a very interesting prospect. He is amazing in the pick and roll, but he's kind of a one-trick pony, and that's all he does. So, yeah. John Collins re-signed with Atlanta Hawks, which I felt like was huge. He's a great player. He played really well against the Bucks, actually. I don't know if you remember who that is. He's a big power forward. He was guarding Giannis, and Giannis was guarding him sometimes, but he played well. I'm glad they paid him. I think they paid him a very fair rate, $25 million a year. Anything more major? Oh, George Hill's coming back to the Bucks, which I think is awesome. I think he'd be a great guy off the bench. Horton Tucker resigned with Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, so we talked about this earlier. Oh, we could just talk about the Bulls and what they've done so far. So they brought in DeMar DeRozan, sent out Thaddeus Young for him. But Thaddeus Young was a great, he helped with the offense in the passing game really well. DeMar DeRozan is a very underrated passer. I feel like he brings a lot of that. He's a very good mid-range shooter. I feel like in those must-make situations, I think he could be a very good guard, especially paired up with Levine, another great. Levine's just a great shooter. DeMar's not so great at the 3. I don't think he even shoots the 3 anymore, to be honest. But it's weird because he's got such a nice stroke. I don't understand. They picked up, as we talked about, Nikola this past season. I think he's great. Who else? They picked up someone else, didn't they?
Ball.
Oh, yeah, Lonzo Ball.
The older. Yeah, Lonzo Ball. Yeah,
yep. He's a great defender. He's been improving every year, so as long as he keeps doing that. We talked about Carmelo Anthony going to Los Angeles Lakers, but he's 37 years old.
Yeah, end of his career.
And he's not that great of a shooter, to be honest. His defense he's slow. There's not much to say about him. He's all but a name at this point. So yeah. I don't think that helps the Lakers as much as the fans and everybody thinks it is. Okay, this is the most interesting and head-scratching move I have seen. Andre Drummond signing a 1-year deal with the 76ers, who have Joel Embiid. Drummond is definitely good enough to still be a great starting center in the NBA. But to pair him up, it's going to be hard to have Drummond and Embiid on the floor. This is kind of the same problem they had when they had Al Horford. So I don't understand this trade, or not this trade, but this free agent signing at all. I think Andre Drummond could have gone if he's signing a 1 year deal, I feel like you're going to the Nets and had a better chance of getting a ring. Or just staying
I
with
don't
the
know
Lakers.
much about it, so much about him.
About Andre Drummond?
Yeah.
He played for the Pistons for a very long time. He was very good.
Okay.
Led the league in rebounding for 4 or 5 years. He's an old school big man, basically, is all you need to know. He doesn't shoot. Yeah. Rodney Hood coming to the Bucks. Great wing player. So it'd be nice for the Bucks to have a little more depth. Sam Decker, Wisconsin Badger, coming back to the NBA, signing with Toronto Raptors. He did pretty well overseas. Los Angeles Lakers got Kent Bazemore, another great. Basically traded away Pope for, and ended up getting Bazemore, which is basically the same player. Blake Griffin re-signed with the Nets. Norman Powell re-signed with the Blazers. It's interesting to see what kind of Blake Griffin we'll get this next year. I feel like he's been hurt for so long.
Yeah. He had some flashes of good last year. I mean, there's parts sometimes you feel like if he could stay, man, if that kid could have, if you could get him healthy and get parts of him where he was really good when he was out in LA, you know what I mean? He could bring something to that team, right? But I don't know what you're really going to get out of him other than a good dunker, right? So
yeah. Yeah. Still be good. Yeah, his defense, you saw, I think Giannis took full advantage of him every time he was matched up with him in that Bucks series.
Yeah.
So, the Pelicans got Devontae Graham, who is a terrible shooter but a great passer. It'll be interesting. Put him up with Zion and what's the other kid out there? Brandon Ingram. Alex Caruso went to the Bulls.
Yeah. Take him.
Derrick Rose returning to the Knicks.
Yeah, it's good.
And then Foreigner going to the Knicks. Dwight Howard went back to the Lakers. Stint number 3, baby. Don't know why. Trevor Ariza going to the Lakers. That's a pretty good pickup.
Yeah.
Zach Collins going to San Antonio Spurs. That's actually great for Zach Collins and great for San Antonio Spurs, and probably not super great for Portland, who lost him. He's been hurt, but he showed so much upside. Just so many injuries, sucks so much. Boban coming back to the Mavericks.
Boban.
Doug McDermott going to San Antonio. Chris Paul re-signed with the Suns.
Yep.
On a massive 4-year, $120 million contract. That's $30 million a year.
Yeah.
For a guy that's going to be into his 40s at the end of that contract.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot, dude.
Duncan Robinson re-signed with the Heat. Kyle Lowry going to the Heat on a decent contract. TJ McCollum staying with the Pacers. Jimmy Butler looking to get a maximum contract. Mike Conley signed a decent sized deal, about $24 million a year with the Jazz. He's been solid.
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk going to the Pistons. Interesting. Jarrett Allen got a very okay deal for Cleveland. $20 million a year for 5 years, $100 million contract. I could buy a lot of things with $100 million.
Do we want to talk about that for a minute here? Otherwise, they're going to keep doing this. You could go down this for another 2 hours.
Yeah, I could keep going down this for another 2 hours. Actually, I'm not too far off the end of it. In fact, the end's right there. I think the only other things was Kawhi is still up in the air on where he's going. I'm sure he's resigning with the Clippers, but I just don't know. And also, Zach Levine been working towards a contract extension. Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it right there.
I'm sure he'll get one, right?
Kawhi?
Now that they, no, Levine. Now that they,
oh yeah, now that they gotta give him a max contract. He'll get a max contract. They helped him out.
He did some shit around there too. I'm sure he'll sign one and be happy and all that stuff. It's not like they don't. I think they have. I think I was watching some the other day and they have the money for it. So
that's good.
So,
we are just about at an hour. Do you wanna?
Yeah. We are. Fuck. Okay.
You want to end this episode and start right back up for another episode? Okay, guys. Thank you for joining. A little boring at the end, but we're just going over the trades. Hopefully there was some decent content in there. See you guys.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.